Samuel Leroy Jackson is an American actor and film producer. Jackson has won critical acclaim and numerous accolades and awards, and is the highest-grossing actor of all time.
He came to prominence in the early 1990s with films such as Goodfellas, Jungle Fever, Patriot Games, Amos and Andrew, True Romance, Jurassic Park, and his collaborations with director Quentin Tarantino including Pulp Fiction, Jackie Brown, Django Unchained, and The Hateful Eight. For his role in Pulp Fiction, he was nominated for the Academy Award for Best Supporting Actor.
Jackson is a highly prolific actor, having appeared in over 150 films, including Die Hard with a Vengeance, A Time to Kill, The Long Kiss Goodnight, The Negotiator, Deep Blue Sea, Unbreakable, Shaft and its sequel, Triple X, Snakes on a Plane, Kong, Skull Island, and the Star Wars prequel trilogy. With Jackson's permission, his likeness was used for the Ultimate version of the Marvel Comics character Nick Fury. He has subsequently played Fury in 11 Marvel Cinematic Universe films, beginning with a cameo appearance in Iron Man, as well as guest starring in the television series Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Jackson has provided his voice to several animated films, television series, and video games, including the roles of Lucius Best/Frozone in Pixar Animation Studios films The Incredibles and Incredibles 2, Mace Windu in Star Wars, The Clone Wars, Whiplash in Turbo, Afro Samurai in the anime television series Afro Samurai, and Frank Tenpenny in the video game Grand Theft Auto: San Andreas.
Jackson is ranked as the highest all-time box office star with over $7.1 billion total U.S. box office gross, an average of $89.9 million per film. The worldwide box office total of his films is over $16.7 billion. He became the top-grossing actor in October 2011, surpassing veteran voice actor Frank Welker.
Jackson was born in Washington, D.C., the son of Elizabeth Harriet and Roy Henry Jackson. He grew up as an only child in Chattanooga, Tennessee. His father lived away from the family in Kansas City, Missouri, and later died from alcoholism. Jackson met his father only twice during his life. Jackson was raised by his mother, who was a factory worker and later a supplies buyer for a mental institution, and by his maternal grandparents, Edgar and Pearl Montgomery, an extended family. According to DNA tests, Jackson partially descends from the Benga people of Gabon, and he became a naturalized citizen of Gabon in 2019.
Jackson attended several segregated schools and graduated from Riverside High School in Chattanooga. Between the 3rd and 12th grades, he played the French horn and trumpet in the school orchestra. Jackson also played the flute and piccolo. During childhood, he had a stuttering problem. While he eventually learned to pretend to be other people who didn't stutter and use the curse word motherfucker as an affirmation word, he still has days where he stutters.
Initially intent on pursuing a degree in marine biology, he attended Morehouse College in Atlanta, Georgia. After joining a local acting group to earn extra points in a class, Jackson found an interest in acting and switched his major. Before graduating in 1972, he co-founded the Just Us Theater.
After the 1968 assassination of Martin Luther King, Jr., Jackson attended the funeral in Atlanta as one of the ushers. Jackson then flew to Memphis to join an equal rights protest march. In a parade interview, Jackson revealed, "I was angry about the assassination, but I wasn't shocked by it. I knew that change was going to take something different, not sit-ins, not peaceful coexistence."
In 1969, Jackson and several other students held members of the Morehouse College Board of Trustees hostage on the campus, demanding reform in the school's curriculum and governance. The college eventually agreed to change its policy, but Jackson was charged with and eventually convicted of unlawful confinement, a second-degree felony. Jackson was then suspended for 2 years for his criminal record and his actions. He would later return to the college to earn his Bachelor of Arts in Drama in 1972.
While he was suspended, Jackson was employed as a social worker in Los Angeles. Jackson decided to return to Atlanta, where he met with Stokely Carmichael, H. Rap Brad, and others active in the Black Power movement. Jackson revealed in the same Parade interview that he began to feel empowered with his involvement in the movement, especially when the group began buying guns. However, before Jackson could become involved with any significant armed confrontation, his mother sent him to Los Angeles after the FBI told her that he would die within a year if he remained with the Black Power movement. In a 2018 interview with Vogue, he denied ever having been a member of the Black Panther Party.
Jackson initially majored in marine biology at Morehouse College before switching to architecture. He later settled on drama after taking a public speaking class and appearing in a version of the threepenny opera. Jackson began acting in multiple plays, including Home and A Soldier's Play. He appeared in several television films, and made his feature film debut in the blaxploitation independent film Together for Days. After these initial roles, Jackson moved from Atlanta to New York City in 1976 and spent the next decade appearing in stage plays, including the premieres of The Piano Lesson and Two Trains running at the Yale Repertory Theater. Jackson developed addictions to alcohol and cocaine, which prevented him from proceeding with the two plays to Broadway. Throughout his early film career, mainly in minimal roles in films such as Coming to America and various television films, Jackson was mentored by Morgan Freeman. After a 1981 performance in the play A Soldier's Play, Jackson was introduced to director Spike Lee, who cast him for small roles in School Days and Do the Right Thing. He also played a minor role in the 1990 Martin Scorsese film Goodfellas and worked for 3 years as a stand-in on The Cosby Show for Bill Cosby.
Having overdosed on heroin several times, Jackson gave up the drug in favor of cocaine. His family entered him into a New York rehabilitation clinic. After he successfully completed rehabilitation, he appeared in Jungle Fever as a crack cocaine addict. Jackson said that the role was cathartic, commenting, "It was a funny kind of thing. By the time I was out of rehab, about a week or so later I was on set and we were ready to start shooting." The film was so acclaimed that the 1991 Cannes Film Festival created a special Supporting Actor award just for him. Following this role, Jackson became involved with the comedy Strictly Business and dramas Juice and Patriot Games. He then moved on to two other comedies, National Lampoon's Loaded Weapon 1 and Amos and Andrew. Jackson worked with director Steven Spielberg in 1993's Jurassic Park.
After a turn as the criminal Big Don in 1993's True Romance, written by Quentin Tarantino and directed by Tony Scott, Tarantino asked Jackson to play Jules Winfield in Pulp Fiction. Jackson was surprised to learn that the part had been specifically written for him, to know that somebody had written something like Jules for me. I was overwhelmed, thankful, arrogant, this whole combination of things that you could be, knowing that somebody's going to give you an opportunity like that. Although Pulp Fiction was Jackson's 30th film, the role made him internationally recognized and he received praise from critics. In a review by Entertainment Weekly, his role was commended as superb as Travolta, Willis, and Keitel are. The actor who reigns over Pulp Fiction is Samuel L. Jackson. He just about lights fires with his gremlin eyes and he transforms his speeches into hypnotic bebop soliloquies. For the Academy Awards, Miramax Films pushed for, and received, the Best Supporting Actor nomination for Jackson. He also received a Golden Globe nomination and won the BAFTA Award for Best Supporting Role.
After Pulp Fiction, Jackson received multiple scripts to review. "I could easily have made a career out of playing Jules over the years. Everybody's always sending me the script they think is the new Pulp Fiction." With a succession of poor-performing films such as Kiss of Death, The Great White Hype, and Losing Isaiah, Jackson began to receive poor reviews from critics who had praised his performance in Pulp Fiction. This ended with his involvement in the two box office successes, Die Hard with a Vengeance, starring alongside Bruce Willis in the third installment of the Die Hard series, and A Time to Kill, where he played a father put on trial for killing two men who raped his daughter. For A Time to Kill, Jackson earned an NAACP Image for Best Supporting Actor in a Motion Picture and a Golden Globe nomination for a Best Supporting Actor.
Quickly becoming a box office star, Jackson continued with 3 starring roles in 1997. In 187 he played a dedicated teacher striving to leave an impact on his students. He received an Independent Spirit Award for Best First Feature alongside first-time writer/director Kasi Lemmons in the drama Eve's Bayou, for which he also served as executive producer. He joined up again with Tarantino for Jackie Brown and received the Silver Bear for Best Actor at the Berlin Film Festival and a fourth Golden Globe nomination for his portrayal of arms merchant Ordell Robbie in 1998. He worked with established actors, Sharon Stone and Dustin Hoffman in Sphere, and Kevin Spacey in The Negotiator, playing a hostage negotiator who resorts to taking hostages himself when he is falsely accused of murder and embezzlement. In 1999, Jackson starred in the horror film Deep Blue Sea, and as Jedi Master Mace Windu in George Lucas' Star Wars, Episode I, The Phantom Menace. In an interview, Jackson claimed that he did not have a chance to read the script for the film and did not learn he was playing the character Mace Windu until he was fitted for his costume.
On June 13, 2000, Jackson was honored with a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame at 7018 Hollywood Boulevard. He began the next decade of his film career playing a Marine colonel put on trial in Rules of Engagement, co-starred with Bruce Willis for a third time in the supernatural thriller Unbreakable, and starred in the 2000 remake of the 1971 film Shaft. He reprised both of the latter roles in 2019, his Unbreakable character and R. Glass and Shaft in another film titled Shaft. Jackson's sole film in 2001 was The Caveman's Valentine, a murder thriller directed by Lemmons in which he played a homeless musician. In 2002, he played a recovering alcoholic attempting to keep custody of his kids while fighting a battle of wits with Ben Affleck's character in Changing Lanes. He returned for Star Wars, Episode II, Attack of the Clones, seeing his minor supporting role develop into a major character. Mace Windu's purple lightsaber in the film was the result of Jackson's suggestion. He wanted to be sure that his character would stand out in a crowded battle scene. Jackson then acted as an NSA agent alongside Vin Diesel in XXX and a kilt-wearing drug dealer in The 51st State. In 2003, Jackson again worked with John Travolta in Basic and then as a police sergeant alongside Colin Farrell in the television show remake SWAT. A song within the soundtrack was named after him, entitled Samuel Jackson by Hot Action Cop. Jackson also appeared in HBO's documentary Unchained Memories as a narrator along many other stars like Angela Bassett and Whoopi Goldberg. According to reviews gathered by Rotten Tomatoes, in 2004 Jackson starred in both his lowest and highest-ranked films in his career. In the thriller Twisted, Jackson played a mentor to Ashley Judd. The film garnered a 2% approval rating on the website, with reviewers calling his performance lackluster and wasted. He then lent his voice to the computer-animated film The Incredibles as the superhero Frozone. The film received a 97% approval rating, and Jackson's performance earned him an Annie Award nomination for Best Voice Acting. He then went on to do a cameo in another Quentin Tarantino film, Kill Bill, Volume 2.
In 2005, he starred in the sports drama Coach Carter, where he played a coach dedicated to teaching his players that education is more important than basketball. Although the film received mixed reviews, Jackson's performance was praised despite the film's storyline. Bob Townsend of the Atlanta Journal-Constitution commended Jackson's performance. He takes what could have been a cardboard cliché role and puts flesh on it with his flamboyant intelligence. Jackson also returned for 2 sequels, Triple X, State of the Union, this time commanding Ice Cube, and the final Star Wars prequel film, Star Wars, Episode III, Revenge of the Sith. His last film for 2005 was The Man alongside comedian Eugene Levy. On November 4, 2005, he was presented with the Hawaii International Film Festival Achievement in Acting Award.
On January 30, 2006, Jackson was honored with a hand and footprint ceremony at Grauman's Chinese Theater. He is the 7th African American and 191st actor to be recognized in this manner. In an interview that year, he said that he chooses roles that are exciting to watch and have an interesting character inside of a story, and that in his roles he wanted to do things saw as a kid and wanted to do and now an opportunity to do. He next starred opposite actress Julianne Moore in the box office bomb Freedom Land, where he depicted a police detective attempting to help a mother find her abducted child while quelling a citywide race riot. Jackson's second film of the year, Snakes on a Plane, gained cult film status months before it was released based on its title and cast. Jackson's decision to star in the film was solely based on the title. To build anticipation for the film, He also cameoed in the 2006 music video Snakes on a Plane by Cobra Starship. On December 2, 2006, Jackson won the German Bambi Award for International Film, based on his many film contributions. In December 2006, Jackson starred in Home of the Brave, as a doctor returning home from the Iraq War.
On January 30, 2007, Jackson was featured as narrator in Bob Saget's direct-to-DVD farce of the Penguins. The film was a spoof of the box office success March of the Penguins. Also in 2007, he portrayed a blues player who imprisons a young woman addicted to sex in Black Snake Moan, and the horror film 1408, an adaptation of the Stephen King short story. Later the same year, Jackson portrayed an athlete who impersonates former boxing heavyweight Bob Satterfield in director Rod Lurie's drama, Resurrecting the Champ. In 2008, Jackson reprised his role of Mace Windu in the CGI film, Star Wars: The Clone Wars, followed by Lakeview Terrace where he played a racist cop who terrorizes an interracial couple. In November of the same year, he starred along with Bernie Mac and Isaac Hayes in Soul Man. In 2008, he portrayed the villain in The Spirit, which was poorly received by critics in the box office. In 2009, he again worked with Quentin Tarantino when he narrated several scenes in the World War II film, Inglourious Bastard.
In 2010, he starred in the drama Mother and Child and portrayed an interrogator who attempts to locate several nuclear weapons in the direct-to-video film Unthinkable. Alongside Dwayne Johnson, Jackson again portrayed a police officer in the opening scenes of the comedy The Other Guys. He also co-starred with Tommy Lee Jones for a film adaptation of The Sunset Limited.
Throughout Jackson's career, he has appeared in many films alongside mainstream rappers. These include Tupac Shakur, Queen Latifah, Method Man, LL Cool J, Busta Rhymes, Eve, Ice Cube, Exhibit, David Banner, and 50 Cent. Additionally, Jackson has appeared in 5 films with actor Bruce Willis, and the actors were slated to work together in Blackwater Transit before both dropped out.
In 2002, Jackson gave his consent for Marvel Comics to design their ultimate version of the character Nick Fury after his likeness. In the 2008 film Iron Man, he made a cameo as the character in a post-credit scene. In February 2009, Jackson signed on to a 9-picture deal with Marvel which would see him appear as the character in Iron Man 2, 4, Captain America, The First Avenger, and The Avengers, as well as any other sequels they would produce. He reprised the role in Captain America, The Winter Soldier, and Avengers: Age of Ultron. In February 2015, Jackson stated that he only has 2 movies left on his Marvel contract following Ultron. In 2018 and 2019, Jackson made cameo appearances as Fury in the Avengers sequels Infinity War and Endgame, and starred as a younger, de-aged Fury in Captain Marvel alongside Brie Larson.
Among his more recent film roles, Jackson appeared in Quentin Tarantino's Django Unchained, which was released December 25, 2012, Tarantino's The Hateful Eight, which was released in 70mm on December 25, 2015, and Jordan Voight Roberts' Kong, Skull Island, which was released on March 10, 2017. In 2019, Jackson reprised his unbreakable role as Mr. Glass in the film Glass, and his Shaft role in Shaft, both sequels to his 2000 films. Also in 2019, he appeared in the Brie Larson film Unicorn Store, and had a prominent role as Nick Fury in the Marvel film Spider-Man: Far From Home.
He is set to produce a live-action film adaptation of Afro Samurai, and is assuming the role of Sho'nuff in a remake of The Last Dragon.
In addition to films, Jackson also appeared in several television shows, a video game, music videos, as well as audiobooks. Jackson had a small part in the Public Enemy music video for a 9/11 Is a Joke. Jackson voiced several television show characters, including the lead role in the anime series, Afro Samurai, in addition to a recurring part as the voice of Jin Rummy in several episodes of the animated series The Boondocks. He was in the pilot for Ghost Rider. He guest starred as himself in an episode of the BBC/HBO sitcom Extras. He voiced the main antagonist, Officer Frank Tenpenny, in the video game Grand Theft Auto: San Andreas. Jackson also hosted a variety of awards shows. He has hosted the MTV Movie Awards, the ESPYs, and the Spike TV Video Game Awards. In November 2006, he provided the voice of God for the Bible Experience, the New Testament audiobook version of the Bible. He was given the lead role because producers believed his deep, authoritative voice would best fit the role. He also recorded the Audible.com audiobook of Go the Fuck to Sleep. For the Atlanta Falcons 2010 season, Jackson portrayed Rev. Sultan in the Falcons Rise Up commercial.
He reprised his role as Nick Fury in a cameo appearance on Agents of SHIELD in 2013 and the season finale in 2014.
He also appeared in the Capital One cashback credit card commercials.
Jackson released a song about social justice with KRS-One, Sticky Fingers, Mad Lion, and Talib Kweli about violence in America called I Can't Breathe, which were the last words said by Eric Garner.
Throughout the 1990s, AC Nielsen ECI, a box office tracking company, determined that Jackson appeared in more films than any other actor who grossed $1.7 billion domestically.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe.